What is up, everybody? We are broadcasting live from our bedroom. That's where my studio is tonight. I was actually at my parents' house with Ann and Joe, and I did not have time to get everything set up in a nice location for y'all tonight. So we had this set up earlier. We were recording a podcast, and I wanted to make sure that I got here and got everything done on time. So I'm going to check my audio real quick. Sounds like the audio is good. My lighting is terrible tonight. I don't know why. I've got a light on my face. It's not working. I'm sitting right in front of a beautiful sunset and the window's open. But for some reason, there's a really weird tint to the camera tonight. So I'm going to go with that. So let me go jump over to the chat room now. I did open this training up to Flip Your Life Live 2019 attendees and alumni. I've got a little training I've been working on here. Really wanted to collect my thoughts together, and I was waiting for this week to kind of debut this concept. It kind of pulls in a lot of my philosophies about creating content, which if you haven't figured it out right now, you're a content marketer. That's what you actually are when you have an online business built on courses, built on membership, built on leadership, built on community. You are a content marketer. We talked a little bit about this last year at Flip Your Life Live 2018. And I've really got my thoughts together on this. I've got a concept that I want to kind of, I don't know if patent's the right word, but I wanted to really talk about it and help everybody else out because, you know, up to this point in our Flip Your Life Live trainings this summer, we have worked on building our products, coming up with our ideas, getting a platform situated where we can actually present our ideas and our concepts and our trainings to the world. You know, you should have a product by now. You should have a lead magnet. You should have maybe the beginnings of a website or at least a Facebook page or something. You need to have these things, guys. I cannot stress enough how important they are. But everything in the internet world revolves around great content. And there's lots of different strategies and philosophies for getting your content out there. But content is what builds your audience. Content is what makes people want to become a fan or a follower of you. Content is what gets people to join your prospect list, right? Content is what gets people to initially buy your stuff, okay? And content, whether it's live through Q&As, leadership, trainings, things like that, is what's going to keep people around. People stay for the community, but the community is usually full of content. Our community is full of content with forums and discussions and monthly Q&As and special trainings like this for people who are coming to our events and all of those things. But content marketing is where it's at. Like everyone says, how do you build an audience? With content. How do you make more money? You make more content. How do you get more people to follow you? Yeah, more content. How do you get noticed and get on other people's shows and podcasts? Well, you have a great piece of content. Okay. And I'm going to talk about some different ways our content has got us noticed. And on top of that, I'm going to talk about how you can create, I want to give to you tonight a content strategy that I'm going to dare you to implement between now and Flip Your Life Live. You got 12 weeks to do this. Okay. And I'm going to dare you to do it. And if you do it, I will, dare I say, guarantee that your business will grow and good things will happen in your business if you do it right. Okay. All right, so let me jump into the chat here real quick. Got people rolling in. Let me know if you can hear me. I need 1 or 2 confirmations that you can hear me, that you can see me, that everything's going good. Give me a shout out, everybody that's here today. I see a bunch of people in the room. Jennifer says, I am stoked. Yeah, you're stoked, Jennifer. You ready to go? You know, and no excuses. Jennifer is content and had some tech issues. Tech issues don't hold back content. All right, sounds good. Monty says. Raj says, yes, good. Shay says, hear you. CSN, hear you. I think that was supposed to be canned. I'm going to go with that. Tanya says, see and hear you. Tanya, I saw you coming through earlier on the Vox program, so I can't wait to talk to you later about that. All right, so let's talk about this content thing first. Okay, so last week, if I scroll down here, you know, we've been talking about branding for the past 3 weeks, and it's important to, you know, it was important to get all the branding stuff out of the way, get the website discussions, the social media discussion, the branding, the colors, the look and feel of the general overall theme of your business, right? Like that creates the backdrop where your content lives, right? Like your content, your videos, content is simply video, audio, or text. That's all it is. That's all it can be. Images. Yeah, it can be images too, but images I kind of throw in with text. But content is not really complicated. You either do a video like I'm doing right now, you record audio like our podcast, or you have something text like a blog post with images, right? There's not really anything else you can create. So content in and of itself is not complicated, okay? But you have to have that backdrop where you have to have the canvas where your content's going to live. So we've gotten that out of the way. We've got a product sitting there waiting for something to point to it, right? We've talked about our idea. We've talked about our solutions. We talked about that thing that we've created that people will buy. Lesson plans for our old websites, football playbooks for my website, the Flip Your Life blueprint for Flip Lifestyle. Go ahead and put your product in the chat room right now. Tell everybody about your product. What do you sell? Okay. Where's Crystal? I saw Crystal in here. She just made a product, so she can throw hers out there. I have courses about blank. Fill in the blank, everybody in the chat right now. Okay. And Treasure Redmond's in the house. Call me Big Sister Treasure. Treasure's here. We're going to have a good time tonight. I know it. All right. Online yoga membership, right? Whatever it is, you keep your products coming. Just throw them in the chat room right now. And I made a course to help teachers learn how to teach online, e-teaching, right? Like membership community for solo full-time travelers. Good job, Shelly. It's amazing, right? Shay says, I have courses about tech stuff and online biz. Physics for homeschoolers. Good job, Monty. Tanya says, English lesson plans and SAT and ACT lesson plans. Awesome. Elizabeth Decker, I have a course for training right hands for entrepreneurs, biology lessons. I mean, look at all these amazing things. There's never-ending supply of all these products. But if no one knows your product exists, it doesn't matter that you created a product. And that's where some of you have failed in the past. You made this thing and then you never promoted it properly, right? You never created enough content to lead it. Content is how search engines index you. Content is how social media's networks share you, right? And your content strategy is going to make or break your online business. I can go back in everything that we've done and all the things that I can say that we've created. The most important thing that we have ever done in any business that we've started that made money is we had a great content strategy. And even when our content strategy wasn't perfect, we made so much of it, we couldn't help but get noticed, right? So I hope that my 8-minute soliloquy here that I've given you has driven home the hammer and the nail that this is a really important topic. And if you commit to this, good things will happen. Okay. All right. So when I was a football coach, and I may have told this story before, I don't know if I have, my first year that I was a football coach, we went 0-10 when I was the first year as a head football coach. And this was a really big blow to me. One, I'm a really competitive person. Okay. Every school I had ever been an assistant at, we had won championships. We played for state titles. I coached an NCAA Division I football, and we went to the Gator Bowl. We played against Florida State, Bobby Bowden. I mean, the biggest level, biggest stage, New Year's Day. I mean, anything you could do, it was just a huge deal, right? Even other high schools I had been on, we had always been really, really good. And my first time ever having the reins to myself, we went 0-10. It was really bad. And, I went in and I thought that the product was what was going to make us or break us. My offense, my defense, right? Like I thought me being, I can give one heck of a halftime speech, y'all. I'm telling you, you want to run out the locker room and run through a wall. Let me have 5 minutes with your football team before the first kickoff. You down 6 at halftime. Let's go on in. I'll raise the dead and we'll run out alive when we get to halftime, right? Like I can give a good speech, but I didn't realize that wasn't what won games. What won games was consistently, prolifically, relentlessly doing the things every day that built a football team up, that created an amazing thing on Friday night, right? I didn't realize that instead of putting in all these fancy plays, we needed to be doing tackling drills 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right? Because we didn't wear pads on on Thursday. I didn't, think to myself, man, maybe we should go in and block every day, because if you can tackle and block, you're going to be really good. And maybe instead of putting in 14,000 passing plays, we should do 3 or 4 plays really good every single day and learn how to catch the ball perfectly every time, right? And I realized that doing a few things consistently and prolifically is how you build a football team. Now, how does that sound like we run our business, right? I talk about those 2 words all the time. And when I look back at all of our success, it's because we hammered the nail over and over and over again. When Jocelyn had Elementary Librarian, before we sold it, we made one product, lesson plans, and then Jocelyn consistently and prolifically every day started topics on Facebook that got librarians talking. And when they talked to each other, there were openings in the conversation to sell them our product, right? When I looked at our football, all the different, I built this huge football site when I first started my online business. And I realized that I just needed to pick one thing to talk about every single day. And I started posting, and what I would do is I picked one defense instead of all offenses. I picked one defense, and all I did every day to grow that website was I took a napkin out, because coaches love drawing plays on napkins, and I would draw one play. And I would draw an offensive formation or a play, and I would take a picture of it with my phone. I would share it on Twitter, and I said, how would you defend this? And I did that every single day. And every time someone said something, I said something back, and I talked to them. I said something back, and I spurred conversation. And that's all the content that I needed to create to be able to build that product. But the key was not what I was doing. It was doing it consistently and relentlessly and prolifically every single day to make it happen. And I would bet that you guys are not doing these things. And maybe it's my fault because I haven't explained it enough to you. What does that mean consistently? That can mean a lot of things. Post once a month. Okay, look, we need to talk about that, right? That's not exactly what we're talking about here, right? Like, I send an email once every 3 weeks about having a product that might be for sale, but I don't tell them the price, right? Like, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about strategic content done consistently, prolifically, and relentlessly to get people to your site. So what we're going to do over the next little bit is, one, I call this, you ready for this? I'm very proud of this. I told this to Jocelyn earlier and she laughed at me. I call this I'm going to write an epic blog post about this called, Is Your Business Dying? Give it CPR, right? You're going to bring your business back from the dead. Or do you need to breathe life into your business? Give it CPR. See what I'm doing there? You see how I took that acronym and I made it my own, right? Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight is, what does CPR mean? What does it mean? What do these 3 things mean? And then, most importantly, screw theory, screw pie in the sky, guru nonsense. We're all going to make a plan to do these 3 things every day from now until Flip Your Life Live. And some of you won't. Some of you will sit on your hands and you won't do anything, and you'll make a plan. It'll look pretty, and you just won't have the guts to go out there and do it. That's okay. You just won't make as much money as the other people that do it. So it's your choice. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the first one. All right. Being consistent. Now, I've touched on this in a couple other trainings, but I want to show you what it really means. Consistent means you do one thing that actually works in your space, okay, at least weekly. That's what consistent means, okay? So consistent means, like, for Jocelyn and we're almost to episode 300 on the Flip Lifestyle podcast. There's actually more episodes than that, but some of them were like bonus episodes or announcements, or we had like a couple Q&As where we talked to some guests like early on in the podcast, and we didn't like it, so we just didn't even number them anymore. But like the actual podcast where we help someone change their life, or we deep dive into a topic, we've done 300 times in a row almost. Okay, now think about that. 300 episodes consistently every week. You know it. You listen to the podcast. You can bank on it tomorrow morning, or if you noticed, this week's episode was out early today in the Flip Your Life community. But Every single Tuesday, it's like a bedrock. It's written in stone. There will be a podcast from Shane and Jocelyn. If something happens, it's because there was a technical problem. It has nothing to do with us not making it. We're always ahead on our thing. And that is the one thing, no matter what, that we never sacrifice in our business. And that's what we're known for. And being able to consistently create content does a lot of things for your business. Okay. Number one, it keeps you in a good workflow, right? Where you're not chasing squirrels, chasing rabbits, trying to chase fads, trying to install bots on your Facebook Messenger. That was a fad. You're out buying Bitcoin. I know it's up again over 10,000, but it's still a ripoff and it's a fad. And all these things that happen and chase you go here and you start a website. You go here, you buy a domain, you do that. No, we have a brand about this topic that creates a podcast, and we do it every week, and we're going to do it rain, sleet, slow, hell, fire, damnation. It don't matter. The Flip Lifestyle podcast is coming out on Tuesday. Okay. And if something goes wrong, we'll make it come out on Wednesday. I don't know, but it's going to come out. You are not going to go a week without the podcast unless something breaks. Okay. 99.9% uptime, y'all. That's what we're all about here at Flip Lifestyle Podcast. So if you can't commit long term to one piece of content, you're probably not going to make any money online. Okay. If you make 3 or 4 things and you get a little wishy-washy, you take a couple weeks off, you try something new and you're not sure where you fit in. No, like we made a commitment when we started this brand. We were doing a podcast and we were going to keep doing a podcast until we got a huge amount of people in our membership or we went out of business. That's what we are doing. Right. So consistency is not just doing something. It's doing the thing you picked and committing to it and being so consistent that nothing else in life matters. Right. Like we have to release that podcast. If something doesn't, like we have to. It's dire. It feels. I want it to feel stressful. Like, is the podcast done? Are we far ahead? We are recorded right now, all the way up to episode 299, already recorded and done. Okay. I know it's coming out. It's ready to go. We got to stay ahead of that, right? Because the podcast is our thing. That's going to make, not only is it going to keep you in a good workflow, but it's going to let people know they can depend on you. If people can't depend on you, they won't buy from you, right? When we say no, everybody throws around this term, know, like, and trust, right? Well, how can they get to know you if you don't show up but every other week or every third week or every once in a while? No, you show up every week at the same bat time, at the same bat channel, and you do it. That is being consistent, right? How can they like you if they're not spending time with you every single week, same bat time, same bat channel, right? There has to be some kind of bedrock consistency so people can know, like, and I trust you. I trust Shane and Jocelyn are going to have we are so trustworthy about having a podcast on Tuesday. There's been a couple times where iTunes has not populated right because iTunes is screwed up. Their podcast feed doesn't always read it right. So sometimes the podcast might come out on the website, or it may, or somebody forgets to hit publish and it didn't come out at 8 a.m. Like if anything happens and our podcast doesn't come out at 8 o'clock, guarantee you I'm going to know about it at 8:01. Because there are going to be fans and followers of the Flip Lifestyle podcast that are like, where's the podcast? Is iTunes broken? Is the internet shut down? What's going on? Like every time, it never fails. It always happens. If anything happens to that feed in any platform, it's not on Stitcher yet. Why is it not over here on Google Play? Like what's going on? Like anything happens technical wise, we always get an email. I think a couple weeks ago, Kathy, our assistant, who basically hits publish on the podcast and schedules it, like she accidentally clicked the wrong day. And I was up drinking my coffee and I saw I was looking into Zendesk and I saw that there was someone was like, what's going on? The podcast hasn't showed up. And she forgot, she just hit the wrong time basically. But literally we are so consistent and we've been so consistent for so long that people let us know and they knew it and they saw it because like it's Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Why is the podcast not out? Right. So it's critical that you are committed to consistency with your content. Like, I don't care what you do. You have to be consistent with it. So the first thing you're going to do to grow your brand between now and Flip Your Life Live is you are going to commit to something, a bedrock piece of something in your business content-wise that happens at a minimum of weekly, right? At a bare minimum. But like, it's not just committing to it from now until Flip Your Life Live. It's committing to it, period. Like, I am going to be a YouTuber. I am going to be a podcaster. I am going to be a blogger. And 5 years, I am so confident in my commitment to consistency that I promise I'll look you right in the eye and say, if I'm not dead, there will be a podcast 3 years from now on Tuesdays, right? Like unless something happens to me and Jocelyn, and God forbid, but that's the only, we're not derailing. Like there's going to be a podcast. Like that's our thing. Okay. All right. So I want to know what you're consistently doing or not doing, right? Like, so I don't want, like some of you are like, I got a podcast, but I skipped a couple weeks. I got a YouTube channel, but I didn't do it. Like, I'm going to talk about being prolific here in a second. That's going to take another angle. It may be related to this thing you create, but like what are you? Are you a YouTuber, a blogger, or a podcaster? I want you to type it in the chat room. I see 30 something people logged in. There's more. Let's see how many are watching. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit over 30 of you watching right now live. Okay. Somebody else just logged in. Like there should be 31 responses right now that say I'm a blank. Right. And like, this is what I do. Right. And like Jennifer just put, I do YouTube and blog posts. I would say that's even dangerous. I'm going to talk about content explosion here in a minute. Like I would consider that more, I'm a YouTuber who happens to share her YouTubes on blogs, right? Like, what are you? Jocelyn, tell people we are podcasters, period. Yes, we make stuff everywhere else, but we are podcasters. That's what we do. How do you make your living? Podcasting, period. Why? Because I'm committed to it and I'm consistently creating one every Tuesday. So you have to be able to say, I am a whatever, right? I am a whatever. And like TC, you said, I plan to be a YouTuber. Are you? Right? I could plan to be an astronaut. That don't mean I'm getting on the space shuttle. Say you're a YouTuber. Like if you're going to be a YouTuber, like just commit. Like don't be wishy-washy. Like consistency takes commitment, right? Like if it's not something you can just like, yeah, plan on it or try to. It's like, this is what I do and I will do it and it will come out every week and it will happen and it's going to happen at a bare minimum from now until Flip Your Life Live. Okay. All right. Teresa said YouTube, and I think I kind of get that, like, because she does something with the sheep, right? Isn't that is a sheep a you? I don't know. I'm talking about. All right. So CPR, consistency. All right. And if you say this, I swear to goodness, Sippy, if I go and don't find your podcast on iTunes one week, I'm gonna come find you. Okay. All right. I have got 200 YouTube videos on my biggest topic, and I'm running out of ideas because the software I support hasn't been updated in a few years. I need to figure out how to make more either way. Hey, Paul, I'll tell you exactly what you do. You go back to the beginning. 99% of people haven't seen 99% of your content. Go talk about the same 200 topics again. Start over. Bring it back up. I talk about being consistent and prolific every week on the podcast and right here in your training and in the forums and in Voxer when I'm talking to one-on-one people and for Flip Your Life Live attendees, because it's critical and it needs to be repeated, because nobody learns anything the first time you say it and nobody finds everything the first time you do it. So go back and do all 200 again. Jocelyn and I actually, this is a sneak preview of what's going to happen after episode 300. We've tested multiple podcasts many times. And we're going to have another test coming up in August. So what we're going to start doing is iTunes only shows the last 200 of your podcast. Well, we have 300 of our podcast. Okay. So it's fair to say that most people have probably not heard 1 through 100, at the very least, because they're not even on iTunes to be searched anymore. And that's where most of your traffic comes from as a podcaster. So we're going to start airing an episode on Saturday, and we're going to call them classics. And we're going to go back and find our best episodes from those first 100, maybe the top 50 out of the 100. And we're going to release those on Saturdays. Somebody may have missed them. I would guess that no one in this room has heard all 300 podcasts, or at least the small East 80-20 rule. Maybe 20% of you have, and 80% of you have not heard all 300 of our podcasts. So we're just going to use the same one over again and call it a classic episode to boost numbers on the weekends, right? It's like reruns. Why do they show? I was watching Andy Griffith with my dad last night. We were watching the Andy Griffith show. Why is Andy Griffith still on the air? Because people still watch. It don't matter if it's the same episode of Andy Griffith that's been on 100,000 times, right? Like, you're still going to watch Andy Griffith when Andy Griffith's on, because he's got good wisdom that Andy Griffith does. And we were watching I was watching, my dad's almost 80. He likes Andy Griffith. So we were watching Andy Griffith at his house last night. And it's just a rerun. That's why they show them over again. It's free views. It's free listens. It's free whatever. If you don't want to go back and show old episodes, then just talk about the same topic. We're going to do some of that too, where we just kind of, go back over the same topic again. Okay. So there's lots of ways to do that. All right. Consistency. Most important thing in your content. You got to be committed to consistency. You will do something every week between now and Flip Your Life Live. No excuse. You paid the money. You're getting on a plane. You're getting in a car. You're going to be there. You're putting in the time and effort. Why would you not commit to doing that? It makes no sense to me if you want. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about being prolific, consistent, and prolific. CPR. All right. When I say prolific, I always mean daily. Okay. Like prolific to me means you are going to do things different than everyone else. You are going to be prolific. If everybody else makes, if everybody else does something once, you're going to do it 5 times. You're going to do it above and beyond. You're going to go past the finish line, right? We used to teach on the football field whenever we had a receiver or a running back, whenever they would score in practice, we always made them run 10 yards out of the back of the end zone. We didn't want you to stop at the goal line. We didn't want you to slow down at the 5. You score through the back of the end zone. That's how you guarantee and get yourself to get points. That's how you don't have a guy make you fumble it on the 1. That's how you don't get tackled at the last second. That's how you don't make a mistake. You run for your life like the devil himself is chasing you, and you go straight out the back of the end zone. I used to tell that exact thing to every running back and receiver that ever caught a ball in practice. Out back of the end zone, back of the end zone, back of the end zone. Never stop until you get out the back of the end zone. Okay. That's what being prolific is. Okay. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be prolific in your content. I actually don't think that you need to be prolific in your core piece of content. Now, there's some exceptions. TC, where's TC at? TC Miller's in here. TC works with us in our Voxer program, our private mastermind. And I challenged her today to maybe do 30 days of YouTube lives. 1, to get over the fear of doing live videos. 2, to wrestle with some of her content that she's not created yet. And 3, just because I wanted her to get a taste of being prolific in something. But that doesn't mean she has to be a prolific YouTuber. She doesn't have to do a YouTube video every day. We do not do a podcast every single day of the week. That would be very hard, and it would not be worth it. Okay. Usually when I'm talking about being prolific, I'm almost always talking about promotion. Being a prolific promoter. Okay. You want to be committed to consistency. You want to be a prolific promoter of the content that you create. If you release a podcast on Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you should be telling someone that there was a podcast. Like, you've got to go out there and tell people about it. Share it on Facebook. Email it to your list. Tweet it. Pin it. LinkedIn it. Reddit it. I'm running out of social media networks, but you got to go out and tell people about what you're doing. And like we did an interview today. We did an interview on a travel blog. They were talking about location independent travel people. And so we got interviewed and we did this. And the guy was like, we were talking after the show, and I said, hey man, let me know when this comes out for sure, because I want to tweet it. I want to Facebook it. I want to email my list, and anywhere that I can share this, I want to do it, because we were on his show talking about us, and we pitched our free trial on the show. Right. And so I was, basically what I was saying was, go out there and promote. I want to promote your stuff because I'm in it. Okay. I see some excuses in the chat room right now. I know that some of the rules on YouTube have changed. Maybe it's Facebook Live. Maybe it's YouTube Live. Maybe it's whatever. Or maybe you can still, I could record a video on I'm going to take a break here. No excuses. I don't care if they won't let you do it on your live account. Okay. Go film a 5-minute video and upload it in there. It's not live. You just did a YouTube Live. It's the same thing. I'm going to record a video. I'm going to pretend it's live. I'm going to upload it for 5 minutes. Okay. When you get 1,000 followers, maybe, I don't know why it's not letting you do that, because my kids do live videos on theirs and they only have 36 followers. So I don't know if something's caught you wrong. So Jennifer, forget live video then. Just record the same video exactly like I'm doing now and upload it. Okay. No excuses. No excuses on content tonight. Nobody. No excuses. All right. Let's get back to being prolific. All right. So prolific is almost always related to promotion. So I want to ask you a question. What is your prolific promotion schedule? What is your prolific promotion strategy? If you write a blog post on Monday, how are you going to tell everybody about it? Like, what are you going to do? For us, the prolific thing that I do is I send an email to our list every day. Okay. Now, does that mean, people ask me this all the time, like, do you email your whole list every day? No, we do not. I email most of them. I'd say 12 to 15 days out of the month, the entire list gets the same thing. Okay. But I do email segments of the list. For example, I emailed our waiting list today of about 200 people. I opened a spot in our Voxer program. Okay. So our one-on-one coaching program. So I opened that spot. I sent it to about 200 people that had shown interest in the past. And they were kind of on the waiting list, and that's the email that I sent today. Another email got sent to another segment of people who have never bought anything from us. And we were doing a sale this weekend. We called it our summer sale. If you committed for 3 months, we gave you a little discount on a quarterly plan. All right. But I am promoting something every day with email. All right. Usually what we do out the day before member calls, so we can say, hey, we have a premium member call tomorrow. If you want to join, sign up. Right. Wednesday, I usually send an email out promoting our podcast because it came out on Tuesday. If we have a webinar, I might send that to the whole list on Friday, everybody that's not a member. Right. If we're getting ready to do a live event, I might send it to all the membership list, all the members. Okay. But my prolific piece of content that I use to promote is our email list. I love writing emails. I think that our email list is our best chance to sell something. And that is the top of my prolific checklist. Is every day an email better go to somebody on your list to try to sell them something. Okay. Because I want to promote our membership site or a piece of our content that eventually leads to our membership site. Now, do we do other things? Yes. We do share some things on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. That's the only 3 social media networks that we use. Okay. Is Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter is where we've kind of settled in. So normally we share everything on those sites. But for the most part, my prolific strategy is to email my list every day. Okay. I'm going to find somebody and find something to promote every single day. So what you need to commit to, I want to know what you're going to do, right? There is no wrong answer here too. Everybody's all afraid of, well, what if I'm, pick the wrong social media network, or what if I do? That's not true. There's no wrong way to do this. The only wrong way to do this is not to do it. Okay. If you create content and point it to a product that solves a problem, and then you promote the content, you will eventually build a business around that. Okay. And the more prolific you are in your promotion, the faster it happens. Right. Sometimes a prolific strategy is investing money back into ads. Right. Like if you're a advertiser, you have chosen to be a prolific advertiser. Like, I'm not going to spend a lot of time emailing or doing this or doing that. I'm going to focus on ads. Like that's just the prolific strategy you took. Right. Ours is make sure the podcast and everything on our site can get an opt-in, and then get the list and then promote it to the list. Like that's our promotional thing. So what are you going to do daily to promote your brand? What is your thing? What are you going to do prolifically with your content? Like if you, I saw earlier, Crystal says she's a blogger. Okay, fine. You're a blogger. You wrote a blog post. Congratulations. It came out on Monday. SEO Google might find it. Hallelujah. How are you going to force that into the front of the eyeballs of your customer? Okay. At first, it might be social media, right? You may not have a huge email list. At first, it might be, I'm going to share everything I do on Twitter every day, or I'm going to share on Facebook 3 times a day, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, right? No, there's no magic numbers. It doesn't matter. Just pick one. Okay. But you've got to come up with something that you do every single day to promote the content that you're creating, or no one will ever see it, read it, or hear it. And that's my challenge for you. Once you're consistently creating great content every single week, I want you promoting that content and your product every single day. Like, I don't care if it's like if you've got 10 blog posts, that's fine. You better share one a day for the next 10 days at 9 a.m. and at 9 p.m. You better share on Facebook, your Facebook page, your product. Like, just do that. Just share a piece of content every morning and share your product every night and just see if something happens, right? Because nothing will happen if you're not promoting your stuff. Okay. Maybe it is ads. I'm a little fired up tonight. I'm ruining my voice. All right. Maybe it is ads. Maybe you're like, I am prolifically as I can going to spend money on ads. I'm going to share my content every day. If I have 10 blog posts, 10 days in a row every day, and then I'll just keep repeating them. I'm going to share a different post every day, and I'm going to click that boost button on Facebook. I'm going to make an audience, and I'm going to spend $5 a day, $150 a week. I am going to invest in myself. I don't care if I spend $150 a week for 10 months and end up spending $1,500. When I make that first huge month of $2,000 a month, that's going to pay for all those ads anyway, right? So maybe you become a prolific booster. Do that. Like, just try that. See if that works. It might work. Like, you got to do something prolifically. And you're not going to be able to look at that thing and say, man, this is definitely right. You just got to do it. When I started writing the emails every day, like I think in I want to say 2017. It might have been about halfway through the year. No, I'm gonna say 2018. Like December 2018, I made the decision that I was going to email the list, some part of the list every single day, right? I was going to write an email every day to somebody to sell something. Okay. I might be selling them to listen to my podcast. I might be selling them to opt in for something else. I might be selling them on my actual product, but I'm going to sell something to somebody every day. I am promoting. Okay. And when we did that, we didn't know if it was going to work. We didn't know if everybody was going to, unsubscribe. People told us they wouldn't. Like, we talked to some people about it and they were having good results with it, but there's no way to know until you do it. And I told Jocelyn, I'm doing this the whole year. I am until they all buy or they all unsubscribe. I am emailing this freaking list and promoting everything we do as much as possible to these people who follow us. And our sales skyrocketed. We had 16 straight months of growth, just ridiculous. Everything exploded. Downloads, everything was better because we were promoting the content that we were creating consistently. Okay. If you have a team, maybe you have a bigger business right now, you need to have a meeting with your content people, and you need to strategically ask them, guys, what are we dedicating ourselves to do consistently, and how are we promoting that every single day? And I would even go so far as to say, how are we promoting that morning, noon, and night, right? How is that being promoted? Because if you're not promoting, you're dying, okay? All right. So we got consistent and prolific, which we've talked about a lot. Remember, this is all content strategy. I want to see what you're committing to. I saw a lot of consistent commitments. I'm a podcaster. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a blogger. But when I said prolific promotion, I didn't see a lot of people say, I'm posting on Facebook 3 times a day. I'm going to my email list, and I've got 18,000 people on my email list. I'm going to email somebody every day. Like, where are you? Like, commit to it. Just do it. Commit to one thing daily from now until Flip Your Life Live, and show me that your business didn't grow at all. Show me you didn't get more followers. You didn't get more clicks. You didn't get more opt-ins. You didn't get more sales. It won't happen, because if you do it consistently and prolifically with your content, as a content marketer, you will grow. It's impossible not to. Okay. All right. Now, this is my favorite one. Okay. Because this is the one that everybody you get shyer as I go through my list. There they are. I see. I'm posting on social media 2 times a day, and I'm emailing those two times a week. Crystal, you need to be emailing your list more than 2 times a week. I don't care if there's 10 people on the list. You need to be emailing your list in the beginning. You don't have to email your whole list every day, Crystal, but your list is small right now. So you could definitely 100% email one person on your list every day, a use Loom video. Do that. I am going to email my whole list twice a week, and 5 times a week, I'm going to send one person an actual use Loom video one-on-one from my actual email address selling my product. Okay. All right. So do that. Be more consistent. Don't give me 2 times a week. No, every day. Do it. Hammer the nail. Okay. All right. A lot of you have had businesses for a while. If you're not promoting, you're dying. That's right, Dan Decker. You got a product that sells too. You need to be promoting. All right. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Consistent, prolific. All right. Relentless. Going to be relentless. Relentless. Okay. A lot of people confuse this relentless with being prolific. Like, oh man, I'm going to do stuff every day. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to hustle like Gary Vee. I'm going to be relentless. That's not what I mean. Relentless means you do the most uncomfortable thing you can every day, every piece of content, every piece of promotion. You sell in everything. Okay. Jocelyn and I think, succeed where other people fail because we have ripped the band aid completely off the wound of I am nervous and I'm scared to sell. Right. Like I am not scared to sell. I refuse to be scared to sell. I want to sell in every piece of content. I might be selling a lead magnet. I might be selling, get on my email list. I might be selling, sign up for the next webinar. But I promise you, I'm getting you on my email list or I'm selling you something every piece of content that we create. Okay. Every Flip Lifestyle podcast says, join the community. Every single one of them. Okay. Every webinar, we're selling the thing. Every email I send, I have a rule for myself, has to sell something. Okay. It may, and if I can't fit it in the email, I put a PS, buy the membership, right? Or my signature says, join the membership. We have plans that start at XYZ. Like you have to relentlessly sell your products, or at least sell the getting into the sales funnel that leads to your product. You have to do it. Like online business does not work with wishy-washy, jabbing and right hooking and kind of sort of maybe after 7 emails and a novel that I wrote to you, I might have a link to a product. That is not how it works right now. Like guys, you may get 1 chance, you may get 10 chances, but when you get in someone's eyeballs, you better be telling them you have something for sale, at least to plant the seed so that when they're ready to buy, they can come and buy it for you. It takes like 7 exposures to get somebody to buy. And a lot of you have great products that are making money right now, but you're just not selling them. You're not trying to sell them. I bet you're the last 10 emails, you didn't even put a link to your sales page, right? Like, I don't care what the email's about. You can always PS a link. Okay. I don't care. On social media, you need to be sharing links to your products more, right? Anytime you have any kind of blog post, you can have a lead magnet for that blog post, but then also have somewhere on the page, I have a product for sale. It's why when you go to fliplifestyle.com, we have pop-ups. We have an ad, like an exit intent pop-up to get leads, right? That's our main lead magnet strategy, which actually broke a while back, and I need to fix that. But that's how it comes up and down. But if you try to leave the site, a pop-up comes up, you get an email, right? But it only happens like every so many days. So but on our main site, if you go to fliplifestyle.com right now, you'll see above the fold a join button. You'll see a thing that says we have a community, join it. If you go to a blog post on our site, our entire sidebar, there's no navigation. I'm not trying to point you to any other content. You're here, you're listening, you're reading. Look over here. It's a sales page. My sidebar is literally a sales page to get you to join the community. Like that's all I care about. Right? Like you've got to relentlessly sell. Like you don't create consistent content unless you're selling something. You don't prolifically promote your content unless you're trying to sell something. So you have to relentlessly sell things. And like the default in your sales thing is not, man, I'm nervous making this transition to this pitch and this one webinar that everything led to. That's not how it should feel. The default in all of your content is I sell in everything. I am only creating this content, yes, to help people, yes, to solve problems, yes, to help people figure out what they're doing, but I want them to buy my product because my product is the thing that's actually going to change their life, right? It's going to move the needle. It's going to make a difference. So not only do you have to consistently and commit to consistently creating this content weekly and strategically think about what kind of content you're creating, but you have to prolifically promote all that content, and every decision you make is, how do I sell my product, right? And you've got to get over selling. Like selling is a good thing. Like a buddy of mine I'm in a mastermind with was telling me today, he's reading this book. I forget what it's called. It's by this rabbi flapping or something. But like business has a bad stigma and selling has a bad stigma. But like really, guys, business is the only way we can help each other. Like I have to spend time doing something and I have to eat. So you need to pay me for the support that you get in the Flip Your Life community so I can pay my bills. And you are creating a product that's going to help people do something. They need to pay you for that. And just like we don't go take the farmer's tomatoes, we give him money for them. Like every relationship in our entire life is selling something, right? But it's just the way, that's just the way we help each other. That's the way we trade value. I like that other people, I got an electrician coming tomorrow because we're having a couple lights blink in the house. So something's not right. And I don't want the house to burn down. So like, I like the fact that if I tried to fix the electric wiring in our house, I would die because I am colorblind and I have no idea how wires work. This computer that I'm looking at right now, it might as well be sorcery and magic. I have no idea how you are seeing and hearing me right now, right? Like, but I'm glad that electrician knows. I will gladly give him money that I made in the way that I make money so that he can make money and my house doesn't burn down. And like, that's the same thing here. You got to relentlessly selling is the best way we have found to get over selling fears because it's exposure therapy. You just do it every day. Right? Like every time I get on Facebook lately, I'm like, hey, Flip Your Life Live. We'd love to have you there in Lexington, September 19th through the 21st. Hey, everybody here in this Flip Your Life live training, we just opened a couple spots for our Voxer program, and we'd love to do it. Go to fliplifestyle.com/private. Hey, you're not a member to my community. You need to join the community. Oh, let me tell you this, what happened today. So we were on this podcast today, and this guy, Jocelyn, has been really working hard. Let me tell you how relentlessly I sell things. So Jocelyn has been trying to get us on podcasts outside of the entrepreneur space to kind of introduce our story to like other people. So we did this interview today with this guy. It's called Travel Something Life or something podcast. It's all about traveling. And the guy was just like, when he was listening to our story, he was fascinated by our story. He was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? You did what? You created what? You did what? How did you do that? Like he was just amazed by our story. And at the end, we got off air. Jocelyn had to run and take Anna to dance. And he was just like, your story is amazing. Your community sounds awesome. Like, he's like, I wonder if, if I could do a better job monetizing the podcast. And when he said that, I immediately swooped in like a vulture and relentlessly pitched that he should be in the community. And he joined, right? That the dude that knew nothing about our story that interviewed us on a podcast today, I told him our story. And then I just straight up said like, dude, here's a link. Go buy it. If you don't like it, you can leave in a month. But I want you to go buy this product right now. I sold the guy that was interviewing me on a podcast a membership today. Like just relentlessly always look for an opportunity to sell in every piece of content, every prolific share. Here's something else to do. You can share something else on Facebook. And if someone replies, drop a link to your product. Right? Like relentlessly sell in everything you do. Everything starts with the sell. Every piece of prolific promotion points back to the product, to the content, and the content points to the product. And relentlessly sell. You don't create anything unless it's to make money, right? If you create a piece of blog post, it better make you some money. If you create a Facebook post, it better lead to something that's leading to some money, right? And if you'll do that, if you'll consistently create content weekly, if you'll prolifically promote it daily, and if you relentlessly sell every single day of your life, you can't help but grow. When we see people listen to this and just take action, those are the people you're reading in the success stories. When you go to the success forums and you see someone launching products and making sales and doing promotions and getting more Facebook followers, it's because they're doing this. They have a product that actually is solving a problem, and they are consistently creating content that points to the product, and they are prolifically every single day. You can schedule it. You don't have to work every day. Schedule it out I wrote all my emails for June on like June 1st through the 3rd. I think I wrote an email this morning, but that's the first email I've written all week. But emails went out every single day to somebody on my list. I batched it. We're going to talk about that in just a second. And just relentlessly sell everything you do. You're going to grow. You are going to grow. Okay. So a lot of you guys made some commitments tonight, consistently creating that content. Don't care what it is. All content works. I know millionaire YouTubers. I know millionaire podcasters. I know millionaire bloggers. I know millionaires that don't do any of the three and only post on Facebook. I do 100%. Okay. I know millionaire real estate guys. I know millionaires in every different way. Doesn't matter. Just create the content. Okay. Do that. So it doesn't matter what you pick. Doesn't matter how you promote. As long as you're putting some strategy behind it and you're trying to get in front of the right people. And as long as you're selling and everything you do, you're going to grow. Okay. So I want to hear some results about that. You got 12 weeks, chart it, keep it, and go. All right. Let's talk a little bit real quick about creating this content. Some of you have this mastered, some of you don't. I want to show you how to like explode your content a little bit better because some of you are working way too hard. Okay. All right. So let's take some examples here. One, you should be batching content. If you're not batching content, if you're working in real time, you're undisciplined. I hate everybody has to every once in a while, but if you're not thinking about July in June, then you need to take a break and stop creating. Like for the rest of this week in June, we have 1 week left. There's about 7 days left. You need to ignore every piece of content this week and plan and go ahead and schedule something for July and get a week ahead. You need to be batching content a couple weeks ahead to make that happen. And that's including everything. Like one thing I do on my U.S. history teacher Facebook page. Last week we had 50,000 reach on our Facebook page. Okay. We got almost 6,000 followers. We're getting there. But like, that's for my U.S. history teacher site. So we share memes. We share teacher memes. That's one of the biggest pieces of promotion that we do. So I share a funny meme. They always get like 70, 80, 90, 100 shares. And it's something like, you know, let's do squeeze out of the building, whatever it is. Just something stupid for teachers, right? Just so they laugh and have a good time and tag their little buddies and share and all that good stuff. But usually the post is nothing more than the picture of the meme and a link to my sales page. That way, when it gets shared 80 times, there's a link to my sales page getting shared 80 times and it's just getting clicked through. Well, the other day, I wanted to make some summer memes. So I went into my scheduler and I created, we use Meet Edgar, and I have for that site, and I have, it has categories. So I just spent like 30 minutes and I found like 40 good, funny memes, and I kind of edited them a little bit to make them more history teacher centric. So it'll be a little bit, you know, more on brand. So I put all those, like 40 of them, in a category. It took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I mean, I had to put some, you know, work into this. And but now I just hit that, and they'll just rotate every other day. One of those comes out on my Facebook page. So I just batched up basically 3 months of content for an hour and a half work, right? And that's all you need. I batched all that prolific promotion for the next 3 months. I don't have to worry about it. I just have to turn it off when summer vacation's over. Delete that category and everything's fine. Okay. So please batch your content. Like stop creating one blog post a week. You know, unless you're 4 weeks ahead, like batch your content. You should always be at least 3 weeks ahead. Always 1 week. Here's what I like to say. 1 week of the month is for batching. 3 weeks of the month is for promoting. If you've got that backwards, if you're 3 weeks creating and maybe 2 or 3 days promoting, that's why you're not making enough money. Okay. You know, think about like, you know, Game of Thrones. They spend a year making a series and then they go sell it on DVDs forever. Right. A famous author, you know, J.K. Rowling writes Harry Potter and then sells it and promotes it forever. Right. They just came out with that new app. Right. They had a spinoff on it. Okay. So you need to be at least thinking about, just do that. Like right now, if you did the last week of the month was to create content, maybe you write 4 blog posts for the next 4 weeks, then you go promote those blog posts for 3 weeks, and you take another week and get ahead 4 weeks. Then you promote. You spend the rest of your time promoting. Okay. All right. Next is like repurpose things better. This is one reason that Jocelyn and I like to start from video or audio only. We don't really write, because we can either hire someone else very cheaply to write show notes for our podcast, or we can just pay to transcribe them. So if we record a podcast for an hour, we also get the transcript, right? Which means we take a picture of our guest and we now have show notes. Okay. Then we have someone go in and write a quick show note for us. That's exactly what we email to people to announce the podcast. So by recording one podcast, we basically get a blog post and an email And if we wanted to, we could upload that audio with a picture of us and the guest, and we have a video, right? So be a little smarter about what kind of how you're creating content and repurpose it in different places. Like, for example, what if you do write blog posts? Okay. Well, maybe you could read it and release a podcast. I know people that do that. Maybe you could take the exact copy from the blog post and share it verbatim on Facebook. And now you've got a post there. You could have a link back to the site and you could have a link to your product at the end, but maybe you could repurpose that in other places. So be a little smarter about how you're actually creating the content. Promoting doesn't mean you've got to create something new every day, right? Like I could literally just every single day share one podcast from the past. That would be sharing and repurposing everything. Another thing that we could do, if you're a YouTuber, well, just download the video and upload it to Facebook. You just promoted your content. You didn't have to make anything new. You just had to hit download and upload. That's it. And you shared it into a new place, right? If you're creating YouTube videos, you can embed those and have them transcribed, and now you have a blog post. Okay, so now you have two things to promote. See, one day you promote the video actually on YouTube and say, subscribe to our YouTube channel. One day you promote the blog post and say, hey, check out our blog. And there's a lead magnet at the end that they can opt in. So you can kind of get this like circular movement going between your content. You don't have to create new stuff every single day. One thing that I do all the time, especially, have you guys seen my 5 Fails Fridays emails? I write them about every other week. I wait until I get a good bunch of screw ups, because I screw up a lot. So I wait until I have a bunch of them, and then on Fridays I write those. I write an email called 5 Fails Friday. It's in real time. That's one I usually don't schedule. I leave some white space in my calendar so I can improv. But I'll send that out. I usually just copy that and promote it on Facebook straight up. I don't even I've put them in the blog post before too, and then I copy and paste it verbatim to Facebook, and then tomorrow I schedule a link to share the thing. So like I'm not doing a ton of extra work. Like I might get all the content I need for 3 or 4 days of promotion from the original piece of content. I just have to go share it and do those things and tell people about it. Okay. And if you're batching things and if you're repurposing as much stuff as possible, it becomes very easy to be consistent, prolific, and relentless so that you can sell your products. Okay. All right. So that was a lot of information. Like I said, I've been hashing this out for a while. I was fired up to give you guys this content tonight, but I truly believe that you guys are special. I think that the people that buy tickets to Flip Your Life Live are the people who want it the most, right? The people who are willing to go the extra mile. They're willing to get on a plane. They're willing to get on a car. They're willing to show up. So I want you to take the same spirit that made you buy a ticket to Flip Your Life Live, and I want you to apply that to this plan. Now that you have a product, now that you have a platform, I want you to use content marketing to blow that up. I want you to consistently, every week, create an epic piece of content from now until Flip Your Life Live. I want you to prolifically promote all your stuff, all your content, what you're selling, every single day somewhere. I don't care if it's on social media, email list. You figure that out. You've got to make some decisions. We can't wave our magic wand and find the perfect content media for you or the perfect social media page. What works for us may not work for you. You've got to figure that out. The only way to figure it out is to do it every day until something works. Okay. And then I want you to just change your mindset about selling, guys. It's relentlessly sell here. People always ask me, like, when should I pitch? Every piece of content. That's my answer. When should I pitch? Every piece, every day on social media. When should I pitch? Every day to your email list. When should I pitch? You should be, everything you do is selling, period. You are in sales, sell things. All right. And if you will consistently do that, prolifically do that, and relentlessly do that, I believe that you will make massive progress toward what you're trying to do in your online business. Okay. The last thing I'll leave you with is that guy that interviewed us today. He asked us, he literally asked us, like, well, what's the magic sauce? What was the one thing, everybody, I see people try to do stuff and they just don't make it. Right? Like, what's the magic thing that you guys found that they didn't find? And I just basically told him what I just told you. There is no magic pill. You roll up your sleeves and you open your wallet and you take risks and you consistently, prolifically, and relentlessly force your way into the successful circle. That's what you do, right? Like there is no other plan. There's nothing else magic. There is no home run. There is no going viral. It's get out there and make it happen. Will it to happen, and then put the work in so that it will happen. Okay. All right, guys. That's all I got for tonight. Anybody got any questions? There's a ton of activity. The chat is huge. I see a lot of success stories. I saw Rebecca Decker finished her book. Congratulations, Rebecca. That is awesome. Let's see. I had one. Jennifer Dixon said, I went from monthly to weekly last year. Yeah, you need to go to daily. And I had one lady complain. She said that she didn't like to read, and it made her laugh. Well, that's just her problem. Like that's my philosophy, Jennifer. Buy or unsubscribe. There's a better way to say this. Buy or buy. Right? Buy or unsubscribe. I don't care. Like, what are you doing? Why are you here if you don't like reading my stuff? You know? Yeah, critics. Gotta love them. Let's see. If you're not promoting, you're dying. That's right, Dan. Let's see here. Any questions down at the bottom? Okay. Let's see. So TC says, what do you do if you don't have a website yet? Where do you... Okay, well, you don't promote on your website. You promote your website. Okay. You promote where you create content. So wherever you create content, like if you create content on YouTube, you can promote it on YouTube. You can go in and actually pay to show your videos to more people who are searching your thing, right? Or you do a YouTube video, and if you have it, and then you share it on your Facebook page. I would say, like, and I know me and you were talking, TC, because we have a plan that we're trying to finish a product, right? But eventually it's like create the website. Like we'll get to that point, right? We're trying to do something a little bit different because of your specific situation, which we talked about in Voxer. So, you know, that's the thing is, but that's where the confusion comes in, right? Like doing a blog post is not promotion. Like that is not promotion. It's like this. What if you created a billboard in your garage and you left it in your garage? I mean, you created the billboard, but you didn't promote it. It's not promoting it until it's hung up on the side of the highway and cars can see it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like you can't just like make the thing on your website and that's not promotion. Like promotion means you take what's on your website and go put it in as many places as possible. Sometimes that means buying ads. Okay. Yeah, like when you put your courses, like say you upload them to Teachable or Kajabi or ClickFunnels or wherever you keep your courses, you would take that and you would promote it on YouTube and Facebook until your website is done, right? But you're eventually going to make your website. That's part of the blueprint. Okay. All right. Let's see. I saw another question up here. I could have swore I saw a question mark, but you guys have been a little chatty. Let's see here. Oh, this is interesting. Sign, baby, sign. I'll be creating my plan of action this weekend, updating my homepage from Shane's feedback last week, adding a join now button and making other changes, also making other products. Oh, that was just like a statement of what you're doing. Okay, good. Teresa says, Thou Shalt Prosper by author Rabbi Daniel Lapin. Yes, that's the book. I have not read that book yet, but I've heard so many quotes from it in the last week that I feel like I have because a buddy of mine is reading it. He's a good dude. Let's see. Jennifer said, okay. Jennifer Dixon, is it considered double content when you put your YouTube into a blog? Nope. There's no such thing as double content. You heard it here first. Google has announced that straight up. There's no such thing as double content. Don't believe anybody that says there's double content. No, it's not. Actually, you get rewarded for YouTubing and linking back. YouTube rewards you for embeds on other sites. It's good. It's actually a good thing to have. Never worry about double content. 40% of all content on the internet is double content. Or something like it's in the 40s or something like that. Like that's not a thing. Google is really, really, really smart about figuring it out, and it just takes you to the most relevant posts. So really, an SEO person told me that today. Yeah, they're wrong. That's not true. I'll go and for the rest of my life, I'll post all of our podcasts twice. That's how little I care about double content. No, things being shared in other places are signals that tell everybody that things are good. Like you could take the same YouTube video, upload it to Facebook, put it on your blog post with Vimeo. I mean, your buddy could share it on their site. Like it would not matter. Like that's bunk. Totally bunk. Kathy says, if you go back and re-release an old blog post, but you update it, is it considered new? Can I do this instead of releasing brand new blog posts? I would update. So you do text blog posts, Kathy, right? That's probably a lot of people, what they do, Kathy, actually, is they might take the same topic and if they're going to write a blog post and you want to take the same topic, maybe you just kind of retype it and refresh it. But what you can do, what's a better thing to do actually is to go back on those old blog posts and just update them in the text because they've already got juice. That page does, you know what I'm saying? Like it's already got juice. If you're going to if you want to do stuff like to repurpose stuff on your front page of your blog, what you could do is a roundup post. That would probably be better. Is like you could take the same topic and rewrite it. And then even if they're similar, it won't matter. You can redo the SEO on a page to make it rank better. That's really good. People do that all the time. But another thing you can do is just do like a simple roundup post, like my 3 best posts on X, Y, on whatever, like my 3 best posts on lead magnets, and then have like, this post was awesome and I wrote this at this time, and then have a link to it. That actually creates good internal SEO because you're linking from one blog post to another. So like if you want to like drop your schedule in 1 week, just do roundups instead of writing new stuff, like totally do that, you know. Another thing you can do is just rewrite the whole thing and really update it. Like if I'm going to do we're going to do a couple podcasts in August and September about some topics that we've not touched in a while that have been outdated in our old episodes. Like some of our episodes we can't reshare because they're not relevant anymore, right? Because something's changed. So like we're going to revisit the concept and talk about a lot of the same things, but kind of just update it for 2019 basically. So that's a better thing too. But just do like a roundup post or something, or just revisit the same topic and they'll never know that it's different. It depends when they find it, you know. I would actually, instead of you redoing a whole new blog post like that, I would rather you just like spend a week promoting the crap out of the old one, you know, like think how many hundreds of thousands of people have never read that blog post that need to read it. Like go put it in front of them, like just bring it back to the surface. Okay. So you would rewrite completely with a new link instead of update the old post. No, I would just update the old post and share the crap out of it. Like, yeah. Like if you needed something new to write about, you can write about the same thing twice. But like I would go redo the old post, SEO it, you know, because we all get better at SEO as we go. And then I would share it every day for a month somewhere. I would email my list once a week about it. I would share it on Facebook. I would share it on Twitter, you know, and all that back to school stuff. Jocelyn used the same back to school post. She had a back to school open house thing that she did every year, and it was the same post. She used it over and over and over and over and over again. So yeah, for sure. Sorry, Sippy, did you have a question? Can IGTV be used as a main content strategy? They can't be saved, but my peeps are there. No. IGTV and stuff is a promotional strategy to promote other things. It's a great way to deliver content, but you better be promoting somewhere for them to go, right? It's like stories and stuff, like they disappear. So, you know, even if you can save it, like I would rather social. Here's the general rule. Okay. The only social media network that is actually a content platform is probably YouTube. I would consider anything done on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else as social. And that usually means it's a promotional tool. Okay. We do deliver content, but the goal of that content on social is to point somewhere more permanent, right? Like if I'm going to ever I've not done IGTV. A buddy of mine does it and he really likes it. But if I'm going to do IGTV, you better believe the first words out of my mouth and the last words out of my mouth are going to be go get this lead magnet or join my membership, right? Or for further information, go check out this epic blog post that just happens to have 4 lead magnets sprinkled through it, right? Like we are very big on, if I don't own it, it's promotion. That's a good way to look at it too. Like I own my website. My website is where my content lives. I know that I create podcasts and they go on iTunes. I know I create YouTube videos, but our website is where our content lives, and our product is sold on our website. So everything I do anywhere else is a promotional opportunity, period. right? I'm not here to build the content for Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook, right? I'm not trying to help Jack get more Twitter followers over on Twitter, right? I'm here to use their platforms to join relevant discussions that will lead people back to me and my products. Period. So I would never consider a long-term strategy except for YouTube. YouTube's different. YouTube works really different, guys. YouTube is actually Google video. Like it's just like it is made for it is a search engine for content. Like that's just what it is. But even in that case, guys, when you do a video on YouTube, you better save it and you better put it in Dropbox or you better put it on Vimeo, because if YouTube shuts your account down, you lose everything. So even that I would be careful with, but YouTube is the only one that I would consider a content platform. I would not consider anything else a content platform. Your website is where your content lives. Get people back to your website on your email list and sell your product. Okay. Okay, that's probably good. All right. Yeah, I've already answered that. Okay, cool. All right, guys, it is 10:11 on the East Coast, so I'm going to wrap this thing up. I want you to think about this. I'd like for you to listen to this again. I really would love for you to every week write down CPR on a piece of paper: consistent, prolific, relentless. And I want you to remind yourself, what am I doing consistently this week? What am I promoting every day this week? And how am I going to relentlessly sell? How is every prolific post and every consistent piece of content going to lead to a product that I'm selling and get me money? Right? Like that's what you're thinking of. CPR all the time. Batch that content, spend 75% of your time on promotion, commit to doing that between now and Flip Your Life Live, and you will see results. It may just be audience growth at first. It may just be some more people on your list. It may be more traffic to your site. But they're like the Silver Surfer and Galactus. Silver Surfer comes first for all you Marvel fans. But like if that's the precursors. That's the wave that the money rides. And you have to do these things if you want them. You got to tackle and block well if you're going to win the game, right? And I just taught you how to tackle and block well. So now you just have to go do it. Okay? All right, guys, have a great night. I will post at some point in the next 2 or 3 days when the next training will be. For those of you who have not got your ticket yet to Flip Your Life Live, because I did open this to everybody else, you need to be here. We're doing trainings every single week. Flip Your Life Live is going to be an amazing event. This is the last Flip Your Life Live conference. We are about to roll that out to the entire list pretty soon. We're going to be having some ads running in July about it. We have decided not to do a big live event in 2020. We have no plans to do a big, huge 100+ person event again going forward. There's a lot of reasons. We're going to talk about that on our podcast. We've got some great opportunities in front of us that have kind of come up that are a little bit different than the live event. We have some other live event strategies, but this is the last chance you're going to get to come to Flip Your Life Live. So if you know somebody that's not got their ticket yet, if you know someone that needs to be there and they need to come buy a ticket, tell them about it. I think when I checked today, there were 23 tickets left. And we're about to start really announcing it on the podcast and really pushing to sell this thing out. And you're going to be a part of history. The last 100-person plus that we're planning to do live event, Flip Your Life Live. Okay, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great time. We're going to blow it out bigger than ever. And I can't wait to see everybody, meet everybody there, get a picture of everybody there. And I want you to get after it, have a lot of success, and be consistent, be prolific, be relentless. Sell every chance you get, especially at the end of anything. For example, some of you probably got an email. You need to go check your inbox. I have a couple Voxer spots open right now. You could work with me for the next 12 weeks doing this every day, right? You can ask Crystal. You can talk to TC. You literally get to talk to me every day about your business after a strategy session where we have a plan. So if you need some help being more accountable, you need some help being consistent, being prolific, I will be right behind you the whole way. And check your email inbox. Some of you who may have shown interest in the past may have got that today. For the rest of you, it's fliplifestyle.com/private. Fliplifestyle.com/private. If you're paying attention, if you're listening, you get to go check it out. I'm not going to type that in the chat room. So fliplifestyle.com/private. Go check it out. You got any questions, email me, Shane@fliplifestyle. Would love to work with you personally one-on-one every single day from now until Flip Your Life Live. But for tonight, I'm out. Peace. Have a good night.